Wow. Good afternoon, good evening. I am so glad to be here at Comic-Con New York because, like almost everyone in this room, I am a gigantic fan of Ghosts, and I love the episode we just saw. So, without further ado, let's get our characters out on stage. We have Rose McIver, aka Samantha. Come on down. Hi. Next up, we have Brandon Scott Jones, aka Isaac. And next up, Sheila Carrasco, aka Flower. All right, and last but not least, Roman Zaragoza, aka Sass. What's up, man? Wow.
Hello.
Okay. All right, let's settle in. We're gonna settle in now. Whoa, almost lost it. Woo! That was a wonderful welcome. That was beautiful. How do you feel about the welcome?
It was overwhelmingly lovely.
What's up, y'all?
You guys are awesome.
We haven't been to New York Comic-Con in a couple years, I think, right?
2 years.
Yeah, I love it here. Y'all
And
are
surprise,
so
Roman Zaragoza is here today.
Yeah. But yeah, hey.
CBS and Paramount Plus go big for Comic-Con, so they've actually slipped me some news to begin the panel. 2 tidbits of news. The first has to do with the chairs we are sitting in. They are, as you may know, director's chairs. For most of us, they are just chairs.
Right.
For Rose, this season, they will be an actual seat you will sit in as a job, directing an episode of Ghosts.
Thank you. I'm very excited to put on like a little tragic, old-fashioned beret and what else will I do? I'll
Smoke heavily.
smoke a lot. I'll take up smoking.
You're gonna throw things at us.
Scream at my cast.
Have like a megaphone.
Yeah,
It'll be
exactly.
great.
I have a megaphone. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And then you're also gonna direct.
Well, we'll see about that part.
What draws you to the role, to the job?
I've been fortunate to work in episodic television for a very long time now, and I love the way it works. It's crazy. It's chaos, especially when you're on a show that is airing while you're filming.
Yeah.
And it kind of requires, aside from the creativity, there's a lot of people management skills and diplomacy, and maybe I'm trying to turn into Samantha a little, juggling another pot on the stove, but it's something that's always really interested me. I love the process of it all, and I'm really lucky that I would feel so supported by these guys, and couldn't ask for a better place to be launching.
Well, cheering you on.
Thank you.
Very excited.
Second piece of news that I've been slipped here, I have to say reporting when you're in this chair is a lot easier than reporting in the real world. They just give it to you. The news is that we are going to meet Jay's parents this season. In yet another Ghostmas episode. And the roles of Jay's parents are going to be played by Sakina Joffrey and Brandon White.
Bernard White, we are pumped. Yeah, we're Bernard White and Sakina.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay. Tell me about what you look forward to in working with these new actors.
With these,
You became obsessed with Sakina, didn't you?
I did. I became very, very obsessed. She's maybe one of the funniest people I've ever met off camera. Like, she can be it on camera easily, but she is so funny off camera.
Funny thing about Sakina, we figured out that we went to the same elementary school.
At the same time?
At the same time. We're both 18. So, but we both went to PS 41. For all the New Yorkers out there. And for all the non-New Yorkers, PS stands for Public School 41. It's the Greenwich Village Public School. And so I went from K to 5. Anyone go to PS 41? Yes! That's
Is that
awesome.
one of your friends, Rose?
Sakina?
Sakina? You came? I'm pretty sure Scarlett Johansson went there. At least that's what they said. But Sakina and I both went there. We figured out that we both grew up in Greenwich Village. So that was like a really fun little tidbit. And she's so sweet, so talented. I'm so excited for y'all to see that episode.
Yeah, I think she came to set one day when she wasn't working just to meet Rebecca's dog. Yeah. Like, she's very cool. They both are. They're
And
amazing.
she and Bernie have both worked with Utkarsh many times over the years, and I know he was thrilled with their casting as his parents too. So he couldn't be here today, unfortunately, but he's really pumped to have them in the family.
And Rose, since we just all saw an episode with another new character, while we're on the subject of new actors, Dean Morris playing your father, very touching role, very touching role.
He is brilliant. I mean, he came in and knocked it out of the park. He's clearly done thousands of episodes of television. He just showed up and was such a consummate professional, and great. Really interesting to have Samantha finally see her dad on screen, because we've not talked about him for 3 years, which makes me think there's something worth talking about.
Yeah, for sure. And Brandon, you're a good person now.
I'm a good person now. Can you
How
believe it?
about that?
Can you believe it?
Wait, Brandon or Isaac?
Yeah. Technically,
Isaac.
Brandon now.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh. Unfortunately, it is not more news. It's kind of a retraction of news. I don't even know how to characterize it. Okay.
Oh, a retraction of... Okay. Well,
continue on.
my name's not
describing-
Brandon. No.
Although, the short description is
Yeah.
there was going to be an additional thing, and
Yeah.
then they just told me not to get to the additional thing, that the thing is not in the building.
Because it would
apparently.
be such earth-shattering news
It was- yes.
that we just couldn't afford to do that to
I
you.
don't even know what the thing was, let alone why the thing went away. So,
Okay.
Honestly, all it says is no special questions. So there you go. There you go.
Okay.
Brandon.
Isaac's a good person. I think I was so excited to read that, because Isaac trying to turn over a new leaf is, after 250 years of being the same person, it's sort of like he like has a Scrooge moment. It's like, oh, just like one night and he's different now. You just know that it's gonna backfire in so many ways. So I can't wait to see all the different ways that it doesn't work out for him.
Roman, speaking of a long afterlife, you had the shortest in the show, shortest actual life, living life, and then the longest of the afterlife. Do I have that right? I think so.
Well, Thorfinn has the longest. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Thorfinn has the
Hey.
longest afterlife. But yeah, I'm the youngest in the cast, if that's what you meant.
By like a hair. By like
a hair,
tiny
by a hair.
It's you and Brandon neck and neck, right?
Yeah, me and
Both of
Brandon,
us.
we're both 20. Yeah, I think this season's gonna be really fun. We're gonna dive into Sass's love life and what he and how he loves his relationship to love, and how he just wants to be loved. It's something that has been happening for the last couple seasons, but we're gonna see something new come out about his life.
So not a return of Car Ghost.
Oh,
We'll see. You know,
anything is possible.
Whoa.
Nicole's
knows?
amazing. We want Nicole Sakura back. She's so sweet, so such a pro. I don't know if anyone loves Superstore as much as I did.
Yeah.
But she's so funny and so quick. Like, she came on set, it was so amazing. So it'd be amazing to have her back. But yeah, I'm not gonna give anything away, so we have to wait and see.
But yeah, we find out something pretty radical about your character that, at least for Flower, really changes her point of view on you, for sure. So
True. And
it's gonna be juicy.
And yeah, you have to wait and see what that is. So yeah.
So Sheila, what can you say about Flower's trajectory here in season 4? You had a big role in season 2. There was fear about you being lost forever.
That's right. I had a
Sucked
huge
off,
role in
as
season
the,
3.
as the terminology goes. You were down on the well. I think you
I
met
was.
Patience for the first time.
That's right, both the worm and the woman. Well, first of all, it's just good to be back. And and it's so good to be here with the fans, especially because that first episode of season 3, when we find out that it was Flower that was sucked off, I literally watched my character's funeral on television. And the outpouring of love from all of you guys meant so much to me, and really, I don't know, just got me so excited to come back, and I wanted to tell everybody so badly, I'm coming back, I'm coming back. I just had a baby. I'll get back to it. So yeah, it's good to be back on this show. It's so wonderful to work on, and now that I am back and Flower is back in the house, she actually starts to grow a bit, and she starts to remember a few things, some important things that she cares very deeply about. And whenever Flower remembers something, you know it's gonna be good, or at least crazy. So I'm excited for you guys to see it.
Halloween is coming up. You have an episode coming out on Halloween, so that should be interesting. But before we get to that, I dressed up as Trevor a few years ago for Halloween.
Recall.
And my wife went as Samantha. And I'm curious, anyone in the audience here dressed up as a character from Ghosts? Yeah?
Thanks, guys.
Who? Right there. Who'd you dress as?
Do we have a
Pete.
Pete over there? Oh, that's so good. Be careful with that arrow, man.
Hey, we got Isaac right over here.
No way.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Wow.
Woohoo!
That's amazing.
Oh,
Okay,
and
wait a
The
minute. All right.
dinosaur.
And a
Oh
dinosaur.
my God.
And we got Alberta.
Stand up if you're
We
in
got an
character right
Alberta.
now.
Alberta?
Oh,
What?
So cool.
Do we,
Oh, wow.
do we have people in character right now? Yeah, there's a Pete.
There's
There's
a Pete.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome.
There's another Pete.
Oh, bunch of Pete's.
Whoa.
Wow.
Wow,
Yes.
look at
Come
this.
out, come out. Show us your
Amazing.
look.
Love it.
Oh.
Wow.
That is so cool, you guys.
Look at that.
Hi.
Bye.
Well done. And Pete using the ghost power to wander
Yes,
wherever.
exactly.
Richie,
Yes.
go
Very nicely
home.
done, yeah.
It's funny because without the dinosaur, Isaac is really the only costume that, without the context of the other ghosts, it's just a Revolutionary War. So I appreciate the dinosaur element to it. That's really rad.
That's cool. Okay, so we do have Halloween coming up. I have to say that the addition of Patience to the cast, Mary Wood, it is scarier. The power, the ghost power, is more frightening than the other ghost powers. What's it been like?
Oh, it's great. Having Mary on set has been one of the best experiences in the world. She's so funny. A lot of us have known her as like an improviser and seen her work and worked with her, and she's just so hilarious. Because even in the script, her character was described as like unhinged and insane, and to have that be part of like this deck of cards now is like to have a Joker is like amazing. She's such a wrench
And
in what is a very like oiled system. I
When
feel
you
like.
describe when you described as a pack of cards, I kind of had been concerned on the page or as a character before I read her. I thought, Hetty is sort of the rule setter in the
Yeah.
house, and how is this going to go with another character who's sort of very structured and very disciplinary, and the flavor that she plays that with. I mean, Mary Holland is like a treasure, and
Yeah.
she's so good. But yeah, she fits perfectly, and there's all these different flavors now in our big ghosty soup.
Yeah, she's amazing.
What can you say about the Halloween episode, if anything?
Oh, there's an element of magic in it. I
Yeah.
can say that.
It's our most like magical. Well, I feels like, or at least deals with the thematics of magic. But I think what our show does really well is like it's a witch trial. Like we have a full witch
Yeah, as if
trial.
Sam doesn't have enough going on in her life. She gets accused of being a witch.
Yes.
She has been waiting hand and foot on these guys, and many of them side
Yeah.
with the theory that she's a witch.
Yeah.
It's the most brutal betrayal.
Because and Patience is really leading the charge on that. She's really like, this woman is a witch because she can use a toaster, and
Isaac sucks up to
and
Patience
Isaac
like
Isaac
that.
seizes the opportunity to. He sees power in the house, and he's like, I'm aligning with that.
So one of the other things I get to do in my day job, other than cover all things ghost, is I cover restaurants and chefs. And Jay's restaurant is going to open up this season, right? Do I have that right?
That is correct.
Brandon, Isaac is an investor.
He's an
right?
investor, and he's a very picky investor. He has
Yeah.
a lot of opinions for not. He's the most loud, silent partner you've ever met in your
Yeah.
entire life. And he's not making it easy for them, that's for sure. But I'm excited to see how it sort of comes together, and if or whether or not this restaurant does open.
I can say that flour does play an integral part in the opening of the restaurant.
Yes.
And that's
And
all I will say.
we do get an official name for the restaurant as well, which we're not allowed to share.
But the name exists.
But the name for the restaurant exists, and I'm just going to say this. I know I probably shouldn't, but this character really wanted it to be named Higgintoots, and it might be.
Unless there is a rewrite that happened in the edit, it's not.
But it sounds so good.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to get too nerdy here, but I do want to talk a little bit about what it is that makes this show so special. I have my theories. I think it's something to do with, it's a situation comedy, and the situation allows for jokes that have to do with people fighting their prejudices and their preconceptions across centuries, not just across like the neighborhood. And there's just magic in that. But what do you think it is that works? And we can just go down the line. Roman, if you want to take it first, what do you think makes this show so successful?
Yeah, this is something we think about a lot. I think, of course, the writing is incredible. Like the words on the page that we get right off the bat are just so much. The writers' room, our showrunners, Joe Porter and Joe Wiseman, really know how to bring humor and mix it with heart. And I think that was something that we all needed through the pandemic. And this show started at a time when we were all locked down in houses, potentially with people that we maybe didn't even want to be around. And so we related to that. And I think there is this sitcom that doesn't exist as much anymore as it used to. The 22-minute, it's fast, it's quick. The jokes are fast, and then before you know it, everything is kind of like resolved a little bit. And so I think people were craving humor and heart during like a really, really difficult time.
Yeah. The humor, it is network television humor, but I'm actually amazed that it manages to get by the censors for network television.
We're saying CBS is the new HBO.
Okay.
We were going
Gonna
through all the things that we say on the show, and we're like saying them in interviews, and I'm like, can we say this?
Yeah.
We say it on our show, so we can say sucked off. We could say like all the things. I'm like,
I would love to see
off.
you bleeped in this interview after.
yeah. I don't know. The one with Lamorne,
Oh yeah,
I
jerked
don't even want
off.
to say it.
Saul.
Well, he jerks himself off onto someone. Like, that's like intense to hear, but
And it's a family comedy.
it's a family comedy.
Sheila, I think you had some deep meaningfuls about why the show works.
Well, I think I'd like to second what you just said. The writing is so awesome, and it's such a privilege to get to perform. And then in addition to that, I think what the fans probably can feel is the camaraderie amongst us as a cast is real, and we love working together so much. And there are 6 of us in the main cast that are not here today, and I feel the emptiness of them not being here right now because we all love working together, and every single one of us plays an integral role, I think, in making the show kind of one beautiful portrait, and filling it out, and all of our amazing supporting characters as well. So it's a joy to come to work every day. It really, really is. And I'm very thankful for that kind of job, and I hope it at least comes through in the show.
Yeah.
Brandon, your thesis and dissertation, please.
My thesis, I think back to the episode with Sasapis where he is talking to his dad about wanting to be a storyteller. And I think it's a really good example of what you were kind of talking about, which is these dynamics that you have in your current life, like that we all have, like whether we're struggling with trying to tell our parents something, whether we're in a fight with a friend, that those are problems that have existed for centuries and we've survived through them, and that the idea that somebody from 500 years ago, from 1,000 years ago, can be dealing with something pretty similar to what you're dealing with kind of really gives you like a good idea, connects you as humans. And I think that when we can understand history and we can understand everything, it really, I don't know, it's a very comforting thing, kind of what you were talking about.
Yeah, I think, honestly, to be on a show that has existed for 4 seasons is such a privilege in this day and age. And we're so aware that that is because of our awesome fans, and we really, really notice and appreciate the incredible support that we get from you guys. I think when you get to a 4th season of a show, and a show that is well written, the amount that you can mine is just so much richer. For a first season of a show, they can be fun, they can be exciting, but they're very introductory. And I think, once you start peeling back the layers, it's like by season 4, you're not just learning about where people are from, it's like you're learning about how where they're from is affecting their behavior today. Maybe there's repeated bad behaviors or needing to belong or, whatever it might be. But it's just a luxury to be on a show that is able to get far enough to explore that.
Is there a lot of research that goes into playing these characters? Each of you come from particular places and times and histories. And Roman, your character is a Lenape Indian, Native American, and I wonder. I mean, did you dabble in that history in order to somehow improve the role?
So when I got cast, we shot the pilot, and then it was like 6 months until we shot season 1. And in that 6 months, I worked with Joe Parr and Joe Wiseman, our showrunners, to find a Lenape consultant, because I was like, hey, yes, I'm indigenous, but I'm not Lenape, nor am I an expert on Lenape culture, and I don't want you to look at me for that. And so we brought in Joe Baker, who is our amazing Lenape consultant, and I've had some beautiful discussions with him and Jim Rementer, who is our Lenape coach, and he's been really great with the language. So like little things like that have been really great. And then we also went to the Library of Congress, and this was so cool. A few of us went to the Library of Congress.
I watched that interview to prepare for this, and it was very intimidating because Library of Congress, I mean, that's for all time. That's like, Isaac would know what that means. That's a big deal.
My God, of course,
Sam
the best
wouldn't.
library.
Wow.
Exactly. It was so beautiful. There was like a librarian for each of our characters. I think it was like 5 of us that went, and they dove deep and did research about our time period and about our character and about wherever they're from. And the person that dove into Sass's history and culture ended up saying that she is a descendant of the Lenape. She is Munsee. So the Lenape were displaced down to Delaware, and then over to Oklahoma, and then also to Canada, and the Munsee went into like Ontario area as well. So she is Munsee, and so she was able to like talk to us about this and be like, this is my family, and I am so appreciative that you are bringing this representation of this history that is never really told, especially in the Hudson Valley, especially in New York. Like, we need to talk about why Wall Street's called Wall Street. We need to talk about why Pearl Street's called Pearl Street. And if you don't know, look it up. It's an intense history that is right below our feet here in New York. And I love talking about it because it's not something to feel super guilty about, but it's something to acknowledge so that we can continue to move forward and continue to work with the tribes to try to create more of a presence of the Lenape here in New York City.
Yeah, it's really beautifully put. Beautifully put. Shifting registers somewhat, Sheila, did you do a lot of drugs and join a cult to prepare for the role?
I was just gonna say that. Yep, a lot of shrooms. A lot of cults. It was a wild 6 months before we went to series.
Any Revolutionary War?
You know what? I got a
spelunking?
really big textbook, and I opened it up, and I was like,
And then
I
closed
can't do this. I can't. This is too much. And so I kind of felt, though, like the show, because the one thing that the writers will always say is that the characters aren't time travelers, right? And so we have had 250 years, in my case, of like living and meeting other people. So by the time you're meeting them, they're a little different. But I tried to look at what do like pop culture stuff like The Patriot or Hamilton or 1776 or that John Adams miniseries, and tried to see like what do we know about that time period just colloquially or like in the zeitgeist, and just start from there. And so I churn my own butter.
Betsy is actually one of my favorite. Betsy plays Nancy, our wonderful basement ghost, and she's so fantastic at, like, her voice. She's like, how would a cholera pit victim have ended up with this specific voice? And I think maybe this is the biggest spoiler, is she has this backstory that there was like a guy who came to fix the water cylinder that she was just really besotted with and really intrigued by, who talked like that, and that it's an entire thing she's adopted at some point. You don't have much going on in the basement. There's
You got to figure it out.
got to figure it out. And adopting a new personality was what she did.
Yeah.
Okay, now we need a Nancy flashback where we see the before and
Let's get a Nancy flashback.
Asher Grodman was going to be here, was sick, wasn't able to make it. But I think a lot of people who watch wonder what he's wearing underneath the long shirt. Mm-hmm. Anyone?
Oh, we know very
You know
well
all too well.
what he's wearing.
And it's
underneath.
not enough.
He's got here. He does have flesh-colored underwear underneath that
Which
shirt.
is my first problem. Why does it need to be flesh colored? We're not going to see it on screen. They could be blue.
Right.
And it would be much sort of easier to process what you're dealing
Yes.
with.
He to his credit, he's very conscious about when he's like sitting down, and he's like, it's very fun. However,
hard.
if you go into his dressing room, which I love doing, especially when he's not there, you'll see the flesh-colored underwear just like
Poor
hanging
Asher,
up,
he's so
and it's just
sweet.
so limp and weird.
With a dry cleaning tag on it.
Yes, exactly.
And he has his, his
yeah.
special tearaways that he puts on over the top as
right.
much as he can to try to,
know.
keep things above board.
He's such a good sport with
He
it.
really
It's
is.
amazing.
We miss him.
You know, watching you four interact and then, seeing an episode and the timing is so good, I am curious how much, and the writing is terrific, but then you're in the scene. Is there ad-libbing? Talk to us about that.
Well, I would say that the ad-libbing there, it definitely happens. It doesn't necessarily always mean that it makes it into the show.
But it does guarantee that the workday moves slower.
Yes,
so
it
that's
does.
very
So they love
helpful for the crew.
And then there's nothing like ad-libbing and ad-libbing something and then looking around being like, you guys like that? No.
And then
Okay.
they're like, great,
Moving on.
let's go again.
But I do think improv is this really cool thing where it's it's a tool that an actor has. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the line that makes it to the show, but just that brief moment. I know, Sheila, you also spend a lot of time improvising too, but that brief moment of let's do it right now. No, of just interacting as your characters without a script. It could build something that could happen later, or it just builds a rapport between two actors, I think, as well.
Yeah,
You guys seem to drop in. Like when it happens,
Yeah.
it drops you into a really present moment. Which,
Yes.
as opposed to living on the page, seems very helpful.
Yeah, and then sometimes when you come back to the scripted joke, it just makes it even better because you've shaken out all
Gotten
your
it out,
ideas. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think there's something about also surprising your scene partner and being like, okay, cool, we're on our toes still. We're on our toes. Okay, and then you go back into the script and yeah, you're right. Just feel looser.
This is kind of an infantile question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I've always been trapped in my Florida, Maryland accent, despite my best efforts to get out of it. You do not speak with an American accent. You do in the show, though. Was it hard to learn?
Do you know what's funny? I had a baby 6 months ago, thank you. I'm very, very lucky. She's wonderful. But since having her, my brain, I hear your brain does change postpartum, and it's a little bit softer. It's not quite so sharp. So I've noticed my accent is actually much more difficult. And particularly, after I feed her or whatever, there's a real drop-off in my ability to find my American accent. So that'll be something for you train spotters to find this season. All the times I mispronounce.
Do you have a key word that gets you into it?
No, I think I've just noticed a few words harder this year, like a weird one, just up. It's harder than you think.
Word up.
Yeah. That's thrown me a few times. Yeah.
Let me hear you do it.
Not now, okay?
No, I think you could.
I don't need to be under the microscope.
I bet you it's great.
Oop.
That's
know-
good. That's good.
Not bad, not bad, not bad. Speaking of having to get into the character, you're filming, you're here now, but the filming is ongoing, right? You're shuttling back to Canada, right? Somewhere in Toronto?
Montreal.
Yeah,
Montreal.
Montreal, even further, wow.
Oui.
Wah.
So I don't know enough about how TV works to know if that's typical, having to come back to real life and then go back, or how do you transition somehow back into the character and the script that you need to deliver on the journey back? Is the commute, some people get ready for work, with the commute
Yeah,
is
actually, that's so funny you say that. Brandon brings a Revolutionary War outfit with him
I do.
for the plane.
I do.
It's really weird.
Really uncomfortable.
I've seen him in that used Mazda just driving all the way to Montreal.
You've seen the used Mazda.
It gets really weird at the border.
Full revolutionary outfit.
I think for me, the transformation happens when I get that wig on and the costume. because I think for Flower, she's so physical. And just to go back to your other question about the research, my serious answer is that I really just tried to get the physicality of her down, of someone that was on drugs all the time and of that time period. But that's a very physical journey for me getting into character. But it doesn't really start until I'm on set, unlike Brandon, who flies in costume.
Just, you know what? Whatever works. You know, Daniel Day-Lewis famously stays in character. I don't go there. I just wear the costume every day.
Yeah, it's been so much fun spending this time with you guys. We have just a few minutes left, and so I'll ask the most open of open questions. Anything else you would like all these good people to know and me to know as your biggest fans about the season ahead? And we have a thought.
There are some things that we have not said that we can say.
Oh, right.
Sure, let's give you a couple of little spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can tell you that there will be a double possession happening this year.
Whoa.
Double possession.
Double possession.
So somebody possessed and then repossessed?
We're not going to explain it, all right? You're going to have to just wait. But double possession.
Double possession. Make of that what you will. Spread the word. Tell all your pals. But it's very unprecedented, and it was incredibly technical to shoot.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I will tease that this season we're gonna meet and see Alexander Hamilton.
I heard that was true. Wow. And will Isaac get the better of him?
He can only hope. What could possibly have spurned this rivalry between the two? And that answer will come.
Whoa. Anything, Sheila?
I think those were the...
We have an announcement to make. We will be doing, as Sasapis of Flower, our very first scene together this season.
Yeah.
We've never had a one-on-one scene together.
We've never even talked to each other
We
as
have
characters.
not acknowledged each other.
I had this whole backstory that Sasapis hated Flower, and that she just, like, one day she'd, like, get him to be her best friend. And
Yeah.
it's not that, but it's going to be
But
good.
it's juicy, and it's really, it's kind of cool to see their relationship. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for y'all to see that.
And this is not really to tease, but I just want to say that I am so excited, and our whole cast is so excited to be directed by Rose McIver,
Yes.
Yeah.
who is so brilliant. I don't know if people know how multi-talented she is. I mean, this woman can just pick up a guitar and casually play it. She can, like, do cross-stitch.
She's wonderful pitch, incredible singer.
She's an incredible
Great
singer. She
singer.
can
Great
harmonize. She's like, whatever. She's an incredible mom. She's wearing so many hats. And the fact that she wants to come and direct us. And yes, I'm saying this because she's going to direct me and I want to, like, get some more coverage. But no, it's all very, very true.
And I will also say this, and I don't know if I'm allowed to tease this part, but we'll also see what a tap dancer you are this season on the show.
No.
She's even tap dances
Add
at
that
one
to the
point.
Let me
list.
tell you, don't get your hopes up. The tap dancing, I do like jigsaw puzzles. I love stuff like that I'm good at, but tap dancing I'm not.
She also started doing crosswords around set, and the way Rose does a crossword is amazing because she'll come up to you and she'll ask you for the answer.
And then answer it
And then-
immediately in front of you.
Yes.
I go, oh, what's 3 down beer? It's 3 letters. And I'll walk away and be like, ale.
Yes.
Ale, you idiot. And also,
Oh, that's
she's
very
a-
kind. I just want to say thank you, Sheila, because that is very kind. I couldn't ask for a kinder group of people and more talented group of people to do this with. So
We love you.
Yeah, I hope I do it justice.
Ew, I'm gonna cry.
It's going to be amazing.
It'll be great.
Well, I'm duty-bound to say, and I think no one in this room needs this announcement, that new episodes of Ghosts air on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Pacific on CBS and Paramount Plus. And I feel so lucky to work for a company that makes this show. Thank you for 3 great years of wonderful comedy.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It's nice
Into
to
a
chat.
4th.
Thank you.
Thanks
so
for having
much.
us.
Thank you,
Congrats to
guys.
you.
You're the
Rose
best.
McIver, Brandon Scott Jones, Sheila Carrasco,
Thank you,
and
guys.
Roman Zaragoza.